Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by hills, there lived a boy named Ramu. Ramu was known for being lazy and always putting off his work. He kept thinking, "I'll do it later," and never took anything seriously. While his friends excelled in school, sports, and daily chores, Ramu was always behind. His teachers scolded him often, and his father would remind him again and again, "Time doesn't wait for anyone." But Ramu didn't care. He spent his days lazing around, distracted by unimportant things, completely ignoring how his actions would affect his future. One day, a wise old sage visited the village. Everyone was excited to meet him and learn something valuable. Ramu, hoping for an easy way to get ahead, decided to meet the sage too. He thought, maybe he can tell me a shortcut to become better than my friends without working hard. When it was Ramu's turn, he bowed before the sage and said, "Wise one, I'm failing in everything. I'm behind in my studies, my work, and my goals. I want to be successful like my friends. Please tell me how I can become the best and beat them all." The sage looked at him kindly and said, "My dear boy, your problems come from not valuing time. You waste precious moments that you can never get back. Let me tell you a story to help you understand why time is so important." Ramu listened eagerly as the sage began the story. Once, in a prosperous kingdom, there was a wise and compassionate king, Vikramaditya. He was beloved by his people for his fairness and generosity. One day, while traveling through the village, the king encountered an old friend, Somesh, whom he had known for many years. Somesh had once been a successful farmer, but now his fields were dry, and he had no cattle to plow or trade. Life had been hard, and he often blamed his bad luck, feeling that no one cared enough to help him. Seeing his friend in such a state, King Vikramaditya asked, "Somesh, why do you seem so troubled?" Somesh sighed deeply and said, "Oh, king, my life is full of hardship. I have no cattle to help me with my farming, and without them, I cannot grow crops or earn a living. I try, but I am always struggling. What should I do to change my fate?" The king felt sorry for his friend and said, "I want to help you, Somesh. Here's my offer. Before sunset, come to my royal stable. You can take as many cows as you can lead away, and they will be yours to keep. These cows will help you plow your fields and give milk to sell, so you can make your farm successful again." Somesh, overjoyed by the king's offer, hurried home to tell his wife about the amazing opportunity. "You won't believe it," he exclaimed. "The king has offered me as many cows as I can lead away from his stable. With these cows, we will have everything we need to prosper." His wife, thrilled by the news, urged him, "Go quickly, Somesh. Don't waste time." But Somesh, feeling a bit tired and hungry from the day's work, said, "I will go after lunch." There is no rush. He sat down and enjoyed a slow, leisurely meal, thinking there was plenty of time to get the cows later. After lunch, Pradeep felt drowsy and decided to take a short nap. "I'll sleep for just an hour, then I'll head to the stable," he thought. But instead of an hour, he ended up sleeping for 2. When he woke up, the afternoon was already advancing. Panicked, Somesh quickly gathered a few bags and set off for the king's stable. But along the way, the heat of the sun made him feel tired, and he thought, "I'll rest for a moment under this tree, then continue my journey." He sat down, and before he knew it, he had fallen asleep again. When Somesh finally woke up, the sun was beginning to set. He ran to the king's stable, but by the time he got there, the gates had been closed. He had missed his chance to take the cows and lost the opportunity to rebuild his life. The king, who had been watching from a distance, approached Somesh and said, "Somesh, you have missed your opportunity because you did not value your time. The cows I offered could have helped you rebuild your farm, but you wasted precious hours thinking you had more time. You must learn that time, once gone, cannot be regained." Somesh, ashamed, bowed his head in understanding. "I see my mistake now, my king. I should not have waited thinking I had more time. I will never waste time again." From that day on, Somesh worked hard, making the most of every moment and grabbing every chance he got. He worked hard to rebuild his farm, and over time he became successful again. He never forgot the lesson that time is precious, and once it's gone, it cannot be recovered. The sage turned to Ramu and said, "You see, my child? Just like the lazy man, you waste your time and lose valuable opportunities. If you continue this way, you will never succeed in anything. Time is precious. It should be used wisely." Ramu felt very ashamed and realized his mistake. "Thank you, wise one," he said, bowing. "I will change. I will stop putting things off and use my time wisely." From that day on, Ramu became determined. He worked hard, stopped wasting time on distractions, and focused on his studies and goals. Slowly but surely, he began to catch up with his friends, gaining respect and success in every area of his life. The sage's story had taught him that time, once lost, can never be regained. He had learned to value every moment, to focus on what truly mattered, and to never procrastinate again. If we look at our own lives, we realize that time is like gold. It's the most precious resource we have, and we must use it wisely. Those who waste time will regret it later, but those who value it can accomplish anything.